Welcome to MeDAP Medical Software Training, Part 7. In this tutorial, we are going to take a look at payment per code. To do a payment per code, open a specific visit, and then, once you are in the visit, click on this button over here. This is the payment per code button, or you can use Shift F2 on your keyboard, and it will open the payment per code form. In this form, you can do a payment for each code. Say for instance, the medical aid has paid for only certain codes, but it did not pay for other codes. You can indicate those payments in this part of the program. Now let's say the medical aid has paid for the consultation and has paid for that code and this code as well, but it did not pay for this code, and it paid for this code and not for this code, but it paid for the rest. Now in this case, again, you can change the payment date, or the other method is to select a payment date over here and then do the payment, and it will automatically post that. Now let's say the payment date was done on a specific date and it was done by the medical aid, and we also going to add a reference number. Let's say the medical aid has paid for the consultation. You will see that the program will automatically put down the date over here, and it will put in the code with a payment, medical aid, and the reference number. The codes that was not paid can be marked over here as not paid. Then you can select over here and say not paid. Or you can leave it blank. Now on the statement, it will look like this. In this form, the program will show that it was done, the payment was done for that code, and it will also indicate the codes that was not paid, and the total outstanding amount is indicated over here. If the patient needs to pay in the difference, this visit can be marked as patient liable. And remember, the patient liable part is applicable to every specific code in this visit. So in this case, you'll have to mark this as patient liable. All of these codes must be made patient liable. In this case, you will see that the program will show on the statement the patient liable part is this amount over here. Those were the codes that were not paid, and that is what the patient needs to pay in. If you need to show the payment that the patient needs to pay in, then go to the patient registration form. Click on the payments per visit button. It will show all the codes over here, but in this case, there is that open line sitting here at the bottom. Now the part that is not paid in this case the balance that is not been paid in is the 197 over here. That needs to be paid by the patient, and you can indicate over here. Select any of the codes pertaining to the visit over here. Put the amount in here, in this case 197, and then change that to payment received. The patient liable per code can be removed from within the visit form. Just remove all the patient liable in this form over here. Or you can leave it here if you want to, because it's a zero amount in the end. Keep in mind that this method of payment is more complex than your payments per visit. and the person using this method must know exactly what they are doing. To delete a code, it's the same method as used in the patient per visit, as in also the patient per code. It is exactly the same. You can either remove the full payment over there, or click in the margin and press the delete button on your keyboard. It will delete the payment, and at the same time, the action will be stored in the program's event log. Let's recap on what we have learned. To do a payment per code, click on the Payments per Code button over here, or use Shift F2, and it will open this form for you. You can indicate the date of payment via this button, and you can indicate medical aid payment through this drop-down box, and you can put in a reference number over here. Click on the payments that was done by the medical aid in these little check boxes. The ones that were not done, you can leave open. After selecting the payments that were paid and those who were not paid, it will look like this on the statement. Over here, the patient can see what codes were paid for, and it will show the total over here. And the remaining balance will be the balance for the codes that were not paid for. Then, if the patient pays for the codes, it can also be indicated in the per code line. One can put the amount in here. Let's say this one was paid. You click on here for payment received, but it was the patient who paid for this. And let's say this one was also paid, but it was the patient that also paid. Then on the statement, it will look like this. It will show the payment that was done by the patient for those specific codes, and the balance will be 0.